A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 160. Hanli never expected that, having originally intended to deal with two insignificant cultivators, he would unexpectedly encounter a mysterious powerhouse. Even more terrifying was that his attacks were completely unable to harm his opponent. Picking up from last time, the mysterious young girl suddenly spoke, startling Hanli and the other two. The short, stout cultivator feigned composure, puffed out his chest, and said, "Who is playing tricks? How dare you toy with us?" After saying this, he released a dull yellow protective shield and then conjured forth a small black shield to block in front of him. The mysterious young girl, still acting nonchalant, giggled, "Hee hee, if even you lot could see this old one, I might as well just bash my head in and die." However, your nascent soul stage cultivator's divine sense is quite strong. If it were to be a bit stronger, perhaps you might be able to find Granny's tracks. Hanli's expression turned grim. He had been desperately searching the surroundings with his divine sense, but still hadn't found any trace of the young girl. The young girl chuckled foolishly, I'm a little hungry. How about you three let me eat you? And a cultivator's nascent soul. I haven't tasted one in a long time. I truly miss that flavor. Upon hearing this, a clear light flashed all over Hanli's body, and an astonishing aura surged forth from him. He then conjured forth 72 green bamboo wind cloud swords to protect his entire body. The short, stout cultivator, seeing this, was greatly startled, scared out of his wits. He immediately knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. "Senior, spare my life." This junior had eyes, but failed to recognize Mount Tai. "I did not intend to offend you." "Second brother, what are you doing? Don't run." "Before Senior Han, how could we possibly have a chance to escape?" The burly man conjured forth a golden shield talisman and fled. Hanli controlled a flying sword and slew him. The young girl said, somewhat exasperated, "TSK, what a waste. A cultivator's nascent soul is also a pretty good tonic. Since I woke up until now, I've only eaten 7 or 8 of them." Hanli looked towards a small tree, his eyes flashing with a faint blue light. "Why must you play tricks, Your Excellency? You are merely a nascent soul stage cultivator. How dare you speak with such arrogance? Do you really want me to drag you out?" The young girl's voice abruptly ceased. After a moment, she said coldly, "How did you discover me? My dazzling light transformation art should be impossible for a nascent soul stage cultivator to see through." Hanli feigned composure and said, "Regardless of how this Han saw through it, why don't you reveal your true form? Do you really want me to treat you as a tree and chop you into 7 or 8 pieces?" In his heart, he was breaking out in a cold sweat. He inwardly called it a stroke of luck. In his haste, he inadvertently activated his bright, clear spirit eyes, and unexpectedly in the blue light, he discovered a slight abnormality in the trees over there. Thus, he spoke to bluff, and he didn't expect to actually guess correctly. The young girl said coldly, "A mere nascent soul stage cultivator, yet your tone is quite arrogant. I wonder what your nascent soul tastes like when devoured." At the same time, the small tree flashed with green light, shrank and transformed, turning into a small figure only half a foot tall. This figure had delicate features, slightly long hair, and its body was enveloped in a vast green light, appearing to be completely naked. Hanli, seeing this, said with some surprise and doubt, "Nascent soul? No, that's not right." The small figure looked at Hanli and said faintly, "Nascent soul? Hee, you're not wrong to call me that. However, you are the first nascent soul stage cultivator I've seen since waking up. I wonder if you're unlucky or if I'm fortunate." Its figure flickered, instantly appearing behind the short, stout cultivator. Then, it said with a giggle, "How about I borrow your startled soul to fill my belly?" The short, stout cultivator, startled, desperately begged for mercy. "No. Senior, spare my life." At the same time, his ball-like body bounced up, wanting to flee far away. A ferocious look flashed across the small figure's face. It transformed into a ball of green light and passed through the short, stout cultivator's physical body. When it reappeared in human form, it was holding a thumb-sized green light sphere in its hand. It flickered brightly and dimly, blinking continuously. Meanwhile, the short, stout cultivator's eyes were vacant, and he lay limp on the ground, unmoving. Then, the small figure swallowed the light sphere. The green light on its body immediately intensified by a degree. Hanli, seeing this, stood up and shouted, "Are you human or a ghost? How dare you directly devour a living soul?" He realized that this small figure, by devouring a cultivator's living soul, could actually increase its cultivation. What kind of cultivation technique is this? It's simply too unbelievable. The little figure did not reply to Hanli. Instead, it looked towards Hanli's dantian and muttered, "The appetizer has already been consumed. Now for the main course. I wonder, after devouring your nascent soul, will this old granny directly advance to the mid-nascent soul stage?" It seemed to be able to directly see Hanli's nascent soul, and its face was filled with greed. Upon hearing this, Hanli was so angry he laughed, saying, "Devour my nascent soul? Aren't you afraid of bursting your own belly?" He clapped his hands together, and between his palms a thick bolt of evil-warding divine lightning appeared. After entering the nascent soul stage, Hanli was able to store the evil-warding divine lightning from his flying swords directly within his body. When needed, he could directly release the evil-warding divine lightning from his body. Seeing this, the green little figure muttered to itself, "Golden lightning. I seem to have heard of this somewhere before. Why can't I recall it?" Hanli's brows twitched, and he calmly said, "Won't you know once you've tasted its flavor?" After saying this, he immediately commanded the evil-warding divine lightning to attack the little figure. Seeing this, the little figure actually grinned, neither dodging nor evading. Golden electric arcs wrapped around the little figure's body and exploded. For a moment, golden light filled the area, and thunder rumbled repeatedly. Before the golden light could dissipate, the little girl's foolish laughter echoed amidst the rumbling. "I remember now. Isn't this the evil-warding divine lightning? This is truly an extraordinary treasure. To think that a mere early-stage nascent soul cultivator would possess such a treasure of heaven and earth. But you wouldn't think that this granny cultivates demonic arts or ghostly techniques, would you? To actually use this lightning against me. What a waste of a heavenly treasure." This figure was completely unharmed by the evil-warding divine lightning. Hanli sneered, "Don't get cocky too soon. If you truly had the confidence to devour this Han's nascent soul, why would you merely run your mouth? If I'm not mistaken, although you can devour a cultivator's living soul, that only applies to low-level cultivators. To want to devour a cultivator's nascent soul is pure wishful thinking. Perhaps you could indeed do so in the past, but now it's clear your spirit is willing but your strength is lacking. You can only rely on this unusual form of yours. Enough with the nonsense. First, try my flying swords." These mere few words caused the little figure's expression to change drastically. Malicious glints shot from its eyes. Hanli commanded his 12 flying swords to attack the little figure. The green little figure stood grimly in place, motionless. In an instant, it was sliced into countless fragments by the numerous flying swords. These fragments gently floated in the air, faintly shimmering. Then a cackling, strange laugh came from the opposite side. After the fragments flashed with light, they actually reassembled. The little figure, having reformed its body, seemed to be thoroughly enraged by Hanli's words. It said sinisterly, "Tisk, tsk. Not bad, not bad. These flying swords of yours are refined from golden lightning bamboo, aren't they? Although I don't know why you possess so much golden lightning bamboo, to think you could harm me with just these flying swords. It's utterly laughable. As for whether this granny only knows how to run her mouth, you'll soon find out." After saying this, it formed hand seals with both hands. Dazzling green light flickered around its body, intending to unleash a certain divine ability. Just then, the 12 flying swords simultaneously crackled with electric arcs, forming a massive golden net that descended upon it. The little girl said with a hint of disdain, "Humph. Little Junior, still not giving up? Didn't I say that the evil-warding divine lightning is completely useless against me? Eh? What are you doing?" The next moment, it was utterly panicked, because after the electric net descended, it didn't explode. Instead, it instantly contracted, trapping it within, and continued to tighten and shrink. The little figure, realizing the gravity of the situation, struggled desperately to resist. But it was futile. It was wrapped into a massive golden ball. Seeing this, Hanli couldn't help but reveal a cold smile. After numerous experiments, Hanli had already discovered that besides restraining demonic cultivation arts and evil techniques, the evil-warding divine lightning also had the miraculous effect of imprisoning and sealing five-element spiritual energy. Whether it was Qianlan Binyan or Feng Linjin, they could all be imprisoned by the evil-warding divine lightning, preventing them from erupting or escaping. Although the little figure's origin was unknown, it was definitely not a body of flesh and blood or a ghostly form. Instead, it was a strange existence formed from a mutated cultivator's nascent soul. Hanli, harboring doubts, unleashed this move, and it actually managed to imprison the green little figure. The pitiful little figure, although it had heard of the legends of golden lightning bamboo magic treasures, did not know about the hidden properties of the evil-warding divine lightning. Otherwise, it would never have relied on its demonic Yin body to be so reckless. It, who had been so arrogant just moments before, was thus easily imprisoned by Hanli. The nascent soul elder of Yulin sect, upon discovering that Jimu Linying had been imprisoned, sent people to search for the one who had imprisoned Linying. Once that person was found, he would personally go and meet this person. The Fu family cultivators were currently engaged in their final revelry, unaware that Hanli was about to reap their lives. However, the Fu family old ancestor had actually set up numerous contingency plans. Could he stop Hanli? Picking up from last time, after the young girl was imprisoned by Hanli, she screamed in shock and rage, "You dare to trap this old one? Quickly release me. Otherwise, I will definitely extract your soul and refine your spirit, making your life worse than death." Hanli paid her no mind. He added several more layers of evil-slaying divine thunder to the golden orb before placing it into a white jade box. He then pasted several restriction talismans onto the box before putting it into his storage pouch. Next, Hanli released a fireball, burning away the zombie soul of the short, stout cultivator who had become one of the living dead. Finally, he calmly flew back to the small city. Far away, tens of thousands of li from Yuanwu Nation, lay the Tianluo Nation, the lair of the 6 devilish sects. In the western part of Tianluo Nation, Qilin Mountain stretched for tens of thousands of li. Its peaks were perilous and steep, and within its mountains, spirit beasts and exotic insects were countless. It was precisely where the Yulin sect's mountain gate was located. Just as Hanli imprisoned the demon spirit, an old man's angry roar resounded in a stone chamber on Qilin Mountain. Who imprisoned the ultimate wood forest spirit? Someone. Quickly contact the Yulin sect disciples in Yuanwu Nation. If, within 3 months, they still cannot find the escaped ultimate wood forest spirit, they will be punished for both crimes. Make them commit suicide to atone for their sins. Furthermore, they must act cautiously. Don't let the Moyan sect discover this matter. Have Yunji and Lu Yu personally make a trip to Yuanwu Nation. Both of them possess wood attribute spirit roots and are the best candidates for merging with the ultimate wood spirit. When they are close to the spirit, they might be able to sense something. Tell them to be careful. Whoever could imprison the spirit definitely possesses formidable divine abilities. They are not someone those two can deal with. They only need to find out who imprisoned the spirit. I will personally go and meet this person. Outside the stone chamber, a man hurriedly departed. In the treasure-gathering hall of Zidao Mountain, the Fu family patriarch, Fu Tianhua, was in high spirits, his face glowing with health and amiable to all. His 400th birthday was fast approaching, and as the oldest core formation cultivator in the Fu family, even the 2 protectors of the Moyan sect were coming to offer him birthday felicitations. This would greatly increase the Fu family's prestige once more. The Fu family's juniors were all diligently and wholeheartedly busy in the hall, a sight that greatly satisfied Fu Tianhua. Accompanied by several juniors, he then walked into a side hall within the pavilion and sat down on a grand tutor's chair. He leisurely asked, "Qinger, have the distinguished guests from the Moyan sect not arrived yet? Surely nothing happened to prevent them from coming to our Fu family, right?" His voice, though not loud, was filled with a sense of majesty. A pale-faced cultivator, over 40 years old, respectfully replied, reporting, "Old ancestor, senior son from the Moyan sect sent us a sound transmission. This time, he and Protector Mo will definitely offer birthday felicitations to Old Ancestor. They should arrive within the next day or two." Next to him, an old man with tightly furrowed thin brows also respectfully added, "Senior son and Senior Mo and our Fu family have had a friendship spanning over 100 years. They will definitely arrive as scheduled. Their status in the Moyan sect has risen, and this is inseparable from our Fu family's strong support. Moreover, we even married off the two most outstanding women of our clan to these two individuals. How could they possibly not come?" The Fu family old ancestor stroked his long beard, a flickering light in his eyes as he spoke. "It's not that I'm worried they won't come. It's just that, for some reason, the closer it gets to my birthday, the more uneasy I feel. It feels as if something major is about to occur. I'm truly a bit worried. Recently, has our Fu family offended any formidable individuals or any other larger sects?" Hearing these words, the people in the hall couldn't help but exchange glances. After a moment, the pale-faced man carefully replied, "Old ancestor, as you know, although our Fu family is growing increasingly prosperous, the families and minor sects we've offended are also countless. Among them, the Qin family and the Hu family despise us the most. Could it be that those two families are trying to cause trouble?" The Fu family old ancestor said with some hesitation, "These two families have few high-level cultivators left. They can't stir up any big waves. However, if the two families were to join forces or further unite with other minor sects and seize the opportunity to launch a surprise attack, it could indeed severely weaken our Fu family. After all, back then, in order to curry favor with the Moyan sect, we killed many cultivators from these two families. They were also forced to abandon their foundations and hide in seclusion. They harbor a deep hatred for our Fu family, so it's not impossible for them to do such a thing. We must also be prepared for the unexpected. Let's be outwardly relaxed but inwardly vigilant. All sentry posts must double their manpower compared to before. The protective grand formation must be kept active day and night, do not cease. Especially keep a close eye on those rogue cultivators with unknown identities." Hearing this, the pale-faced, middle-aged man immediately accepted the order and departed. The Fu family old ancestor then continued, "Tianyun, call out your third uncle. Have him bring the iron-backed sacred beast to accompany me to the birthday celebration. Only he can command our clan-protecting sacred beast." Hearing this, the brocade-robed old man couldn't help but exclaim in surprise, "What? Old ancestor, didn't you say before that third uncle is currently at a critical stage of his cultivation and that he shouldn't be disturbed?" The old man coldly snorted, "Humph. Before was before, now is now. We cultivators, although we cannot truly achieve seeking good fortune and avoiding disaster or foretelling the future, sometimes certain premonitions in our hearts are incredibly accurate. For caution's sake, we must guard against it. I'd rather this old man be overly cautious than for our Fu family to encounter a great calamity." After hearing these words, the brocade-robed old man could only accept the order and depart. After the Fu family old ancestor successively issued several more commands, only then did he feel at ease. In his mind, with so many contingency plans prepared, even if something were to happen, they would be well equipped to handle it. 3 days later, outside the purple mist of Zidao Mountain, 20 to 30 rogue cultivators had gathered. Hanli was also mixed in with this group, silently observing his surroundings. He hadn't expected there to be so many Foundation Establishment rogue cultivators in Yuanwu Nation. In the past, besides the sects in Yu Nation, there were also rogue cultivators who could reach the Foundation Establishment stage, and Yuanwu Nation, presumably, shouldn't have been too different. Now, only a little over 100 years had passed, yet such a situation had appeared, giving Hanli a sense of the vicissitudes of life and the changes over time. He was quite secretly marveling at it. What Hanli didn't know was that previously, sects and families controlled most of the Foundation establishment pills, making it naturally difficult for rogue cultivators to reach Foundation establishment. After the devilish Dao's invasion, however, many sects and families were annihilated, and some Foundation establishment pills also fell into the hands of rogue cultivators. Therefore, in these past 100+ years, many rogue cultivators at the Foundation establishment stage had appeared. Suddenly, 7 or 8 streaks of red light flew swiftly from the horizon. After the light subsided, a group of male and female cultivators, clad in fiery red robes, was revealed. Leading them were 2 core formation cultivators, one with a face full of white pockmarks and a gourd hanging from his waist, and the other with an ordinary appearance, but eyes that held a piercing light. Beside each of them stood a female cultivator as beautiful as a flower. Behind them followed 4 Foundation establishment disciples. Some rogue cultivators recognized them as people from the Moyan sect. The 2 leaders were Protector Sun, who was specifically in charge of external affairs, and Protector Mo. The 2 female cultivators beside them were the renowned Fu family twin swallows, concubines of those 2 protectors. Hearing this, Hanli glanced at these Moyan sect cultivators. A Moyan sect disciple threw a sound transmission talisman into the purple mist. A moment later, the purple mist churned and automatically split open a path. Several welcoming disciples from the Fu family respectfully welcomed them inside. Within the next hour or 2, some more small families or sects arrived at this location and were also welcomed inside by Fu family members. Not long after, a middle-aged steward, his face full of apologies, finally welcomed Hanli and the others inside. Walking at the very back of the crowd, Hanli suddenly vanished. The Fu family disciples responsible for monitoring the Grand Formation did not discover the slightest abnormality. It was as if Hanli had never entered at all. Several Foundation establishment cultivators of the Fu family were chatting and laughing freely with the guests, who numbered as many as 200 to 300 people, all with faces full of smiles. Inside the main hall, guests and hosts were enjoying themselves to the fullest, creating a harmonious and joyful atmosphere. However, the Fu family's good days were about to end, because Hanli had already prepared to annihilate their entire clan. After all, what goes around comes around. Okay, that's all the content for this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. After all, your support is my motivation to keep creating content. I'm Hanli. See you in the next video.